What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna make a special video for my boy JP. He's a YouTuber. I think he's only been a YouTuber for the last 3 or 4 months, and this dude already got almost 2,000 subscribers. I'm blown away. Let me tell you why I'm blown away. When I first seen JP's YouTube video, he was talking about he might be homeless. He was living, or he's still living with his sister and his mom, and he helps take care of his mother with his sister. And his sister, pretty much told him, look, if you can't find work, I'm gonna have to let you go, right? So his first video, JP's first video, was letting everybody know, look here, I might be homeless. And this man has been working, according to what he said, over 30 years, right? Of clocking in and clocking out, like most of us Americans, right? Like most of us. And he's like, I'm done, right? Because at the end of the day, like most Americans, most of us ain't got shit to show for, right? When we gave our blood, sweat, and tears, we clocked in and clocked out. A lot of us make just enough to make ends meet, just enough to put groceries in the refrigerator, just enough to pay a mortgage or to pay rent, just enough to pay car note and insurance, and the electric bill, and so on and so forth, and barely got, if we got anything left over for ourselves, it's very little. And there's a lot of people working 3 and 4 and 5 freaking jobs and ain't got shit to show for it. And a lot of times it ain't because they don't save no money. It ain't because they don't prioritize their money. It's not always the case, right? So going back to JP, the YouTuber, he said, I'm tired of it. I'm going to create my own income, because there are many ways to make money in America, and it's not always clocking in and clocking out, trading hours for dollars. Now, I've worked all my life. I continue to work. I've worked since I was 15 and a half. The only thing that me and JP disagree with is right now, he chose not to work because he wanted to build his own business through YouTube. And I'm quite sure he has other endeavors once he starts generating enough income to where he's fully self-sufficient. But in the meantime, I'm quite sure he's working on, if he doesn't have already, some kind of understanding between him and his sister, because he's still in their household. And I'm quite sure they worked it out, because what's so cool about his situation, when he first made that, I believe it was his first YouTube video, eventually he became monetized just recently. And this young man is blowing up. This young man blew my mind. Now, me and him talk about the same thing. We just talk about the same thing in a different way. But nonetheless, we talk about the same thing. And like I said, the only thing different is I work and he chose not to work because he wants to build his own business. I choose to do the same thing. It's just in a different way. And what is that? Working while being a YouTuber. That's my direction. That's my path. His path is to build his YouTube channel and make it work for him, which I ain't mad at him. That takes a lot of balls and that takes a lot of inertia. Some people say, well, he's lazy, he's this, he's that. I'm not here to judge him. And I don't know what kind of coalition and what kind of agreement he has with his sister and his mother. And if I'm being honest, since I've been working since I was 15 and a half, and right now I'm 47, I've been unemployed before, looking for a job. I've experienced those things. We all have. You know, I had many jobs. I'm not proud to say that, but you know, you look for work, you start, you know, and you're working or whatever, and you find yourself looking for better work, right? As you start growing up and you start realizing, hey, look, damn, going job to job isn't cool. But at the end of the day, I've always was searching for something like this, like what I'm doing, being a YouTuber, but at the same time working. And I've always wanted to be a motivational speaker. I've always wanted to be doing exactly what I'm doing. Communicating, speaking to people, helping people. This is what we do, right? And so going back to JP, he was speaking truth to power. Look here, why are we living in a system where we have to trade hours for dollars and we have to work 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet, and we still can't make ends meet? And when everything technically comes from the ground, food, clothing, and shelter, and why should we have to do all kind of tricks just to make money? And that was his whole point. And he got a lot of followers. He got a lot of subscribers. He got a lot of people that rock with him. And of course, he has haters. And anytime you go to do something different, anytime you look to go a different direction, right? All the sheep are going this way. And you say, you know what, I'm going that way. Not for the sake of being different, but because you think different and because you are different. And the last time I checked, America loves trailblazers. And a lot of times trailblazers aren't respected or understood until after they're gone, until after they're dead. And I'm not liking this person, JP, this YouTuber, to a prophet or myself, but a prophet isn't respected in its own community. It's respected, what's the word? It's respected elsewhere, not in his own community. So what's funny is a lot of his supporters understand and respect him more than his own family. And I find myself in the same situation, not regarding this topic, but regarding other topics. And I got mad respect for this dude. But like I said, some people have a lot of terrible things to say. This guy's lazy. He's a piece of work. And if he's so lazy, how the hell did he get monetized? He played the YouTube game and mastered it. And I can see this young man, not only is he monitored, not only is he monetized, but I can see this dude becoming a millionaire just off the YouTube platform. This young man is going somewhere. And what's funny, it reminds me, because me and him speak the same thing, it reminds me of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. It's like this young man, excuse me, it's real early in the morning, and I decided to make this video, right? So anyways, this young man reminds me of Malcolm X, right? I'm not saying he's literally Malcolm, and I remind myself of Martin Luther King, right? And I remember Martin Luther King said, he started to pivot, right, before he was assassinated. He said, I feel like I'm leading my people into a burning building. And Malcolm X was like straight up with it, raw and uncut. And that's what JP remind me of Malcolm X. in his directness, in his boldness. Martin was more polished, right? He was more, society accepted him a little bit more easier. There's a word I'm looking for, palatable, right? Easy to digest. Malcolm was raw and uncut, extremely authentic, and smart and educated. And obviously, Martin Luther King, same way, very articulate. So we got these two people speaking the same language. And the powers that be assassinated them because they were coming together. They had two different ideologies, but their ideologies were similar. But one, Malcolm X, was raw and uncut. It wasn't watered down. Martin Luther King was watered down, but nonetheless, it was to the point, and they were both speaking truth to power. And like I said in my last videos, you can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill a revolution. Times have changed. This is not the 50s or the 60s. We're in the 21st century, 2025. And we need to start asking questions. How is it that a very few people run this world and got us all working our asses off for nothing or little to nothing? And most of us don't speak on it. Most of us could give a shit. You got people willing to work to the day they die. You talk about retirement, pretty soon there will be no retirement. And Ray Charles can see through this bullshit. There will be no retirement. What's the other blind guy? Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder. A lot of older people are like, I'm going to be working till I die. It's a fad. It's cool now. Eventually, it's not going to be a fad. It's going to be mandatory. And it never was like this before. Like I said in my other videos, food, clothing, and shelter came from the ground. It was no one's, but yet it was everyone's. When are we going to go back to the original system? Because when you have a system like that, you have peace. I'm quite sure you will have more people that aren't crashing out, that's not flipping out. This is why, or one of the reasons why we have people flipping out. Because the system is beyond humane. And if nobody else is going to speak on it, I'm going to speak on it. This shit is wrong. And I'm a working man. And I'm going to probably have to work to the day I die. But I don't want to do it. I hate to work. But I do like having some money so I can take care of my family and have a roof over my head, clothes on my back, and shoes on my feet, and have some water. And be able to protect what I have. Because I believe in sovereignty, self-government, self-governing, governing myself, self-autonomy. So when I seen this young man, JP, he blew my mind. And it wasn't popular. But I also know his belief system isn't popular. But I also know when you speak truth to power and when you're an outcast, I resonate with this dude because I've always been an outcast. I've always been the black sheep. I've always talked about the elephant in the room not just on this subject, but just in family settings. And when I was younger, people would look at me crazy. My family would look at me crazy because I was different. Different isn't bad. Thank God there's been there's been people that's been different throughout all our history. And those are the kind of people who changed the world. Those are the kind of people who created the airplane, like the Wright brothers. And next thing you know, we're not just walking, right? Now we're in an airplane in some kind of tube that got wings on it, and now we're flying. Henry Ford developed, even though there was a black dude that developed cars before Henry Ford, but we'll just go with Henry Ford. I believe his name is Henry Ford. He supposedly developed the car. We used to walk everywhere. The man was thinking different. And I'm quite sure somebody shitted on him and talked shit about him when he said, I'm going to invent a car that's going to take us from point A to point B where you ain't got to walk or run. And somebody invented the boat. Where they're like, hey, you're not going to have to walk. You'll be able to get in the boat and travel by sea. Trailblazers. And unfortunately, we're taught to hate on people who think different, who have a plan to go a different direction and make things easier for your fellow man and woman. This is sad. This whole system don't make no fucking sense. And I'm going to tell you guys right to your face. I don't need to whisper it. I don't hide. I tell it like it is. It's bullshit. And if you guys are honest with yourself, because I know some of y'all scared. I ain't. I don't have to whisper in dark alleys and in the corner, hey, you like this system? This shit sucks, doesn't it? It doesn't make any sense, huh? No. I used to be like that. I used to just talk about it on Thanksgiving. And you can't talk to everybody about it because you got some people who are so deep into the matrix. If you try to unplug their ass, they'll try to kill your ass or ridicule you and try to make you feel small because you're able to see through the bullshit and you're able to speak truth to power. And you're like, we need to change the fucking system because the system is changing us. So I want to give a shout out to JP. I understand your pain. We speak the same language. So let's say this is the problem. You coming at the problem from this direction, and I'm coming at the problem from this direction. We both speaking the same language. But we can't do this shit by ourselves. We need me and JP, we gonna come together. We already coming together, but we gonna come together. I'm gonna prophesy something. Eventually, me and him gonna come together on a YouTube channel or something, and we gonna speak on this shit. And for those who want to jump on board, and for those, because we got a lot of intelligent people in our ranks. Me and JP ain't the only ones. We need to come up with a plan and figure this shit out. Because this system got to go. And we need to bring in a new system. Something that's holistic. Something that is natural. Kind of like how it used to be in ancient days. Most ancient tribes, ancient cultures, food, clothing, and shelter came from the ground. So I salute you, JP. I don't give a shit what the naysayers got to say. I understand. And I also understand how dangerous this is, and I don't give a shit. Because This is why it works. People are fucking scared. Scared of what? Oh, they might kill us. So be it. They might delete us. I don't care. Change is the only thing that's consistent about life. And if we don't change with it, we're going to perish anyways. So we might as well change the world. Make it better than what it was when we first got here. Keep doing what you're doing, JP. And don't you ever quit. And continue to stay true to yourself. Because you motivate me. And I know you motivate others. And yes, you're my younger comrade. And I got mad respect for you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep your head up. One love. And what's funny is, I got 4 brothers, and these motherfuckers don't respect me. Here it is. I don't know JP outside of YouTube. And it seems like, because we correspond every now and then, and it seems like this man got more respect than me. I mean, more respect. He got more respect than my brothers do in my own family. So I know what it is to be an outcast. I know what it is to be a black sheep. I've always been this. A pirate. Different. And I refuse to take the other pill and go back to Wonderland. No. I'm going to take the one pill. And this is a figure of speech, a metaphor. Because sometimes I get the color of the pills mixed up on the movie The Matrix, right? No. I've already took the pill. And that pill takes me through the rabbit hole so I can see how deep it goes. Well, follow us. And when I say follow us, subscribe. Because you guys are experiencing change. We need to change the system and make it work for everybody. This is Mike Chevalier, keeping it simple and precise.